Okay, I hope you're enjoying these lessons. And remember, you can watch these lessons as many times as you need to watch them. Now, when you see three lines together like this, it means that you're getting a definition. So, term is the combination of numbers and or letters with exponents. Some examples of those would be -16, 3x squared y, -1/4 x cubed y squared z, a b squared c. Now, a couple of things that I need to explain to you is when you see a number by itself, -16, for example, you could say your variable is x to the 0. Because remember, x to the 0 is the same thing as 1. So when you have -16 x to the 0, that would be -16 times 1, which is the same thing as just -16. Another thing I need to explain to you is 3 hugged up to a variable is 3 times. And then y by itself is y to the first power. A by itself is a to the first power. By itself is c to the first power. And then when you see something like a b squared c, that's the same thing as saying 1 times a to the first power, b to the second power, c to the first power. Now, a polynomial is the sum difference, and I should say sums and differences of terms with whole number and probably shouldn't say whole number. I probably should say natural number. Natural number exponents. So some examples of polynomials would be 17, 2x squared minus 6x plus 3, -5x cubed y plus 2x y squared, 4 plus 3b minus 2c plus 13, and those examples could go on and on and on. Now, the degree of a term is the sum of exponents of that term. The degree of a polynomial is, find the sum find the degrees of each term and the degree that is highest in that list is the degree of that term. And it's not really the definition, it's really more of the directions on how to do it. So the degree of this one is 3, because there's only one. But this one has 2 and 2, so that adds up to 4. This one is 1, because remember, if it doesn't have an exponent, that exponent is 1. And a whole number can be written as 23x to the 0. So that degree is 0. So I have found the degree of each term. So now the degree of this polynomial is 4, because 4 is the biggest degree in this list. So if I was asking what is the leading term, my leading term would be the 5x squared y squared. And the leading coefficient would be 5. Coefficient is the number in front. Now, monomial, let me adjust that a little bit. Is a polynomial with one term. So in our example, list of examples, 17 would be a monomial. Then binomial is a polynomial with two terms. Trinomial, I think you're getting it, would be polynomial with 3 terms. And then polynomial is all of these, and a polynomial is also 4 terms and more. Then like terms are terms with the exact same combination of variables with their exponents. Page next. So we got a whole lot of definitions. So to combine like terms, you add or subtract terms that have exactly the same variable parts. So with this problem right here, notice that says minus. So I'm going to consider this first. I have to consider this part of it first. And what I'll do is I will bring this underneath. Minus a positive is minus. And I will bring these under their like terms. Now, minus a minus means plus. And when there isn't a number in front, that number in front or that coefficient is 1. Then minus a minus 2 is plus 2. If you owe and you owe, it's off to work you go because you owe. And you add them. So 2 plus 5 is 7. And since you owe, it's minus. Now, a leather jacket plus a leather jacket is still a leather jacket. Don't genetically alter it. If you have $3 and you have another dollar, you've got 4 of them. And 5 plus 2 is 7. Subtract from. If you do not learn this right now, it will bite you in the butt over and 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 over. Do you think you got the picture now? These have to switch. Subtract from must, absolutely must, switch order. And then you subtract. So this is 2x squared minus 2. Then your minus 1 times 3x squared minus 7. Now I have it set up so that there's something left over at the front. But in your homework, there is nothing left over. So minus a positive is minus. Minus a minus is plus. Two minus three is minus one. A leather jacket and a leather jacket is still a leather jacket. 7 minus 2 is plus 5. Now, with your calculator, you can actually, and this is really, really nice, you can put this in y1 equals. Up at the top, it says y1 or y equals. And then you can put this answer in y2 equals. And then you can go second, graph, and that will give you a table. So you can actually check your answers on your TI-83. Your TI-83. And under list 1 and list 2, I think it is. Or no, not list 1 and list 2. Hang on just a second. It is it's y1 and y2. Your answers should be the same all the way down. And if they're not, then you did it wrong. But you can check your answers. So I really love your calculators. Now remember, stuff hugged up to a parenthesis means times. Notice when you add and subtract x squareds, you do not change the x squared. X squared minus x squared is still x squared. But here you've got an x squared times an x squared. So you got 2 times. So sometimes going back to an old way, back from the 60s and 70s, sometimes the old way is the best way. X squared times x squared makes how many x's right here? Not 2 of them. Looks like 4 of them to me. So 2x squared times x squared makes 2x to the 4. And then that shows me a minus. And now, let me erase this thing, because I got something new here. I got 2x squared times 3x. Well, 2 times 3 is 6. And how many x's do I have? I got 3 of them. And then I got a minus. And 1 times stuff is